So we are live and just hitting the live button now. So good afternoon to everyone and thank you for joining in for today's webinar. We have Ms. Vanita Kaushal who's joined us today from TISS School of Vocational Education. She's a Senior Manager for Industry Connects at TISS SVE, and she will be taking us through the kind of programs, the curriculum, and various other important aspects of the content available at the TISS SVE programs there. So thank you very much, Vanita, for joining in today, and over to you.
Thank you, Thomas. Good evening, all. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to take you through TISS School of Vocational Education programs we have. Just a small introduction. I think Thomas has already briefed about me. I take care of School of Vocational Education, which is one of the schools TISS has, apart from the other schools you must have heard about. We also have Mumbai is the main campus from which currently we are operating. Apart from that, we also have 3 other campuses, which is in Tuljapur, Hyderabad, and Guwahati. So, not wasting much time, I will just quickly run you through this small presentation, which you could see on the screen, and I'll brief you on how the model works and all the possible courses available for the students who are currently in the deciding phase once the results are out. The School of Vocational Education was set up in December 2011, basically to impart skill education to the millions of Indian youth through appropriately designed vocational education programs. And the focus of our program is on developing job-specific skills rather than only providing the knowledge-based education, which you could normally see in other programs from other universities and colleges they offer. This is a small TISS School of Vocational Education profile. We have about, till now, more than 6,500 students. We have about industry partners, or we call them organizations, who are currently with us, more than 3,750. The number of locations pan-India where we operate for our programs is about 70 number. Now, they have increased to 100 now. And the total ongoing bachelor's in vocational program, we have about 34 in number and 16 sectors in which we are currently offering the program. Now, you would have this question in mind that why BVOC? Why TISS? To answer this question, I would simply put it that TISS has that kind of a, it's one of the leading institutes in India. One of the institutes who not only offers the other programs from their labor management or social universities, but they also offer highly demand-driven work-integrated programs which are offered under the umbrella of School of Vocational Education. Now, few of the highlights of the program which makes it unique, that why a student would opt for a bachelor's in vocational program. Now, before I mention the highlights and the uniqueness of a program, I would also like to mention here is that our programs are meant for students who are currently from the lower economic background. That is first. And secondly, who are looking at skilling themselves, not just only talking or thinking about the theory education per se. TISS SVE run courses on a work integrated training program approach, providing the students an opportunity to enhance their skills and gain workplace-based industry experience as a part of their degree certification program. So, like I said, our BVOC programs are work integrated in nature, which means while a student applies for the program or enrolls for the program, he or she will get an opportunity to enhance their skills by gaining the practical knowledge at the workplace, which is the corporate, followed by the theory session, which happens at our partner location while they are completing their degree and certification programs. They also get on-the-floor experience, which is absolutely built around the context of skill set, which enables the student to learn by observing and working on active jobs. So while they are on this internship or while they are doing this OGT, these programs, when they are built, we always keep in mind that, you know, they are built around concept of skilling these guys. And that's why we have a concept of skill knowledge providers, or we call them industry partners, who help us in skilling our students by giving them the practical experience at the workplace. TISS also provides the requisite standardized and structured theory session as per the BWOC guidelines while inducting the students into the work settings. Uh, all our programs are UGC approved. We follow the proper BWOC guidelines while they are offered to our students or or when they actually enroll for the program. The skill knowledge providers, like I said earlier, they are the industry partners. They provide on-the-job training to our students. Uh, uh, the uh, the work integrated approach allows the students to earn while they learn. So while they are doing their program, they are learning the program by earning a minimum stipend. They are working as an intern at a workplace while they complete the program. Although this is not a mandatory for any institution, it is a practice the School of Vocational Education strongly encourages its industry or skill knowledge providers to adopt. Now, if you could see the structure, we have three major stakeholders here, which forms the structure of the School of Vocational Education. Now, the first part is School of Vocational Education Mumbai campus, which is the main campus. Now, through this main campus, the campus takes care of the centralized admission process. We also take care of the entire branding and mobilization of students for the academic session. We also take care of curriculum and content development with the help of the content team which we have in place. We also take care of imparting theory through main and off campuses. We have examination and certification, quality and monitoring. We have a team of about 80 people working strongly uh, uh, to make this process more streamlined, and it's done centrally through Mumbai campus. The second stakeholder are the skill knowledge providers here, or we call them practical training facilitators. I will again reiterate that this entire BWOC program is divided into two parts. The first is the practical training part, which is 5 days a week, followed by 1 or 2 days of theory session happens at our partner locations. I'll explain the same going forward once I've completed the structure for more clarity. Now, the second stakeholder here are the skill knowledge providers. They help us in imparting the practical training to our students. They help us in student mobilization wherever it is applicable. They pay modest stipend to the students so that they are financially viable and they can pay towards their fees. They also help us in absorption of students for final placement whenever they have completed the program. We also have the third stakeholder here, which are the off campuses, Tuljapur, Hyderabad and Guwahati. Now, apart from the main campus where the entire centralized process happens for our programs, our three other campuses help us in logistics support. They also help us in extending support for student administration. They also help in extending support for teaching wherever it is required. Now, these are 16 highly demand-driven sectors, which we call our verticals, in which we are currently offering the program. If you could see, we have agriculture, we have automotive, we have BFSI, capital goods, childcare, electronics, ITS, life sciences, which is pharma. Media and entertainment, we have management, entrepreneur, professional skills, which is more to do with sales and marketing, operations, supply chain. We also have power, which includes renewable energy, power related programs. We have retail management. We have also introduced something called sports physical education here, which also entails something to do with adventure sports management, someone who's very keen to do something in sports. We also have tourism and hospitality. So if you could see, these 16 sectors are highly demand-driven sectors, and the curriculum is also not very simple. There is highly extensive in nature when we actually run these programs, or these programs are offered to the students. Now, the programs which are offered to the students here are the BWOC, which is a 3-year bachelor's in degree program in all these 16 sectors. We also offer postgraduate program, which is of duration of 12 to 18 months. Again, highly demand-driven programs, which helps in career-enhancing opportunities. We also offer standalone diploma program, which is a 1-year program. We also offer something called a certificate skill enhancement program, which are of the duration of 1 to 6 months. But these are short-term. This is not a degree or a diploma program. Now, the eligibility for a BWOC program. Now, the eligibility minimum which we have for these programs is first the 12th pass or SSC plus 2 years of ITI. We also have a concept of multiple entry and exit while someone enrolls for a BWOC program. Now, the first year of a program is NSQ level 5, and that is a 1-year program. Subsequently, the second and the third. If a student feels today, okay, they don't want to pursue the full 3-year program, they can simply walk away by completing the first year or the second or the third year, depending on what they really want, but they will only get the degree after completion of 3 years of the program. I would also like to emphasize here that the target audience here, first, definitely some the students coming from the lower economic background, but we also have students today coming from other status also, whose focus is developing skills, not just doing a program. So even someone who's not from the lower economic background still wants to do a BWOC, something in sports or agriculture, which is the need of an hour today, they can simply enroll for the program. Now, what are the student benefits? Now, when they get a bachelor's of vocation, which is equivalent to any graduation, BSc, BCom, BA, BBA, with more scope of employability in chosen field, it is UGC approved. So like I said, our program does not only offer vertical mobility, but at the end of the day, the skill mobility, because a student is not only getting skill, but also getting employed. The examination and certification by TISS SVE brings in required rigor and promotes higher standards. Scope for registering for this program across length and breadth of the country, since we have a pan-India reach. The student is not only restricted from one location, they can come from any location and they can apply for the program. And they earn while they learn and pass out as an experienced fresher. Now, for an example, one of our leading industry partner, Lupin, after taking a student as interns, they have absorbed our student as their confirmed employees. So while they're doing this program and they have completed a lot of opportunities the student may get where they can be placed as a confirmed employee with a corporate or a skill knowledge provider. Now, this is the credit distribution semester wise. So for every year we have 2 semesters, which is 6 months each. And to successfully get a degree, the student has to complete all 6 semesters. These are the vocational theory credits and the vocational theory hours that the student needs to put while they're doing the program. The vocational practical hours here and the vocational practical credits are the time they have spent at the corporate or the SKP location to complete the practical training part. So the total hours, if you could see here in the semester 1, 2, would say 630 hours they have to put to complete the program. Now the credit structure specify minimum 360 hours as vocational practical hours per semester. So for every semester, the student needs to complete 360 hours. However, currently no work integrated program is continuous learning. Hence, the same can extend beyond 360 hours. Normally depends on the corporate or the skill knowledge provider they are working with. Sometimes the working hours can extend depending on the nature of the job. So that can also be taken into consideration and should be continued pursued by the students. Theory classes will be divided into contact classes and online mode. And there is also something called campus immersion, which happens at the TISS campus, off campus, which is mandatory. And the student needs to come for at least 7 to 10 days to complete the campus immersion programs. And domain theory will be offered at local venues. Now the skill development components here. The focus of skill development components would be to equip students with the appropriate knowledge, practice, and attitude to become work ready. See, the ideology behind the programs which you are offering is to actually make our students work ready, employable after completion of the program. The focus is on their skill development and their readiness as per the industry and as per their requirements. The curriculum will necessarily embed within itself. We follow the NOS, which are the National Occupational Standards, of specific job roles within the industry. This would also enable the student to meet the learning outcomes as specified in the NOS. And the curriculum will also focus on the work readiness skills in each of the 3 years. Apart from this, we also put a lot of emphasis on the general education component. Now, the generic subject would be to do more with their personal grooming, their digital literacy, how they can work on their communication skills, all these things is taken into consideration. We also have a concept of counseling. We have a team who also looks after counseling these students on monthly and quarterly basis, just to keep the mental balance of these students while they're doing the program. The component of the total curriculum will not exceed 40% of the total curriculum as far as the general education is concerned. Now, this is the pedagogical process which we follow at TISS School of Vocational Education. The theory training will be divided into contact and online classes. 30 hours of generic theory hours will be imparted in Mumbai or off campuses, and remaining 150 hours of generic theory will be imparted online. So it's a blended mode. Let's see how the things go. But this year, we are planning to do in the blended, or I would say hybrid model, wherein the 30 hours would be done at the campus and 150 hours will be done online, which equals to 180 hours of total generic theory per semester. So the student needs to come to the campus, like I said, and 90 hours of the domain would be conducted at the skill knowledge provider location. All our partner locations for the theory sessions, so we make sure that are near the industry partner location. However, if we don't have a location which is near to the venue, we have a concept of neutral venue which we can create for our students so that they can take the classes. Attendance in theory and the on-the-job training is compulsory. Every student is expected to maintain regularity and 100% attendance in all theory classes and on-the-job training. So the minimum of 75% attendance is required in all courses, each subject, to be eligible for assessments and examination. Now, this is the examination structure for a BVOC program. The examination structure for the BVOC semester examination will be as follows. Each subject evaluation is 100 marks, and 100 marks are distributed as weightage as follows. Written and practical exam, 100 marks, which is 70% of the weightage, and participant workbook or the OGT workbook, which is filled at the industry location, would be 20 marks, and attendance is 10 marks. Award of degree would only be given after completion at the annual convocation. Now, you could see few of our leading skill knowledge providers. So these guys play a very important role for us. If I have to summarize it, till the time we don't have an industry partner or a skill knowledge provider, we cannot start the programs. As we all understand through this presentation, that R is a work integrated model, and our student needs to be placed first with an industry partner to start the program, to get the practical training, followed by the theory session. So till the time we don't have an SKP in place for the sector or the industry, the student is applying for the program, we cannot start the program. Now, few of our leading skill knowledge providers who are with us, who have taken our student as interns, or they are doing OGT, you could see we have Lupin for pharma. We again have MCure Pharmaceuticals for pharma. We have Lenskart for our BVOC in optometry. That's a program under healthcare. We also have Tata Power, which is under renewable energy. We have Maruti, which is under auto. So we have different skill knowledge providers for our 16 sectors. So that's how this model works. Few more questions or few more things which I would like to add apart from these programs, which you may also have in mind, would be that apart from what is the annual fees and what are the chances of someone doing a PG after completion of the program. So yes, we have PG programs from TISS SVE, which they can enroll after completion of the program. If not, they can also apply for higher studies from other universities. And since it's a UGC approved program, they can go. The typical annual fees for these programs ranges between 30 to 50 to 60,000 depending on the program. Now, for instance, if it's an automotive program, the per year fees would be something around 36,000. There's an examination fees of 1,600 and plus caution deposit of 5,000 rupees, which is refundable to the student. And that is a one-time cost where the student needs to pay for the caution deposit. Apart from that, the examination fees and the fees per annum needs to be paid by the student. However, we also, since we understand that these guys come from the backgrounds or the socially challenged backgrounds. So we also have monthly installment schemes which they can offer when they apply for the program. We also have a team who looks after giving the financial or the fund support to these students. However, that is not mandatory or something that is promised to a student. As an organization or an institute, we try our level best to help these students financially, and that's why there's a team. I'm working towards it, and I have team members who work parallelly, talking to a lot of industry partners and associations who can, or foundation who can help us in financial support, which we can through which the students can be helped. Another important thing which can come to your mind would be the placement opportunities. Now, we don't offer 100% placement. Since it's a work integrated model, you can always tell the student that, see, they're already getting internship, they are on the OGT, they are doing the on-the-job training. So once they get experienced after the first year, they will start getting stipend also while they progress in the program. A lot of corporates in the first year may not offer stipend because these guys are very new. They're just freshers. They come out just from schools, so getting stipend in the first, or I would say initial 6 months, is a challenge. However, I think once they get more trained and much more experience, they start getting stipend from the corporate itself. And we have seen till now a lot of corporates who are working currently are our SKPs, they have taken our student as their confirmed employees also. So this model is wonderful, and we have been working since 2011, and our new academic session is starting in July this year. Earlier, we used to have 2 sessions every year, but considering the pandemic and all, we have now come down to 1 session, but we have rolled out more programs this year. So if you could see, and if you go to our website also, you will see a lot of PG programs have been added, a lot of BWOC. Apart from 34 BWOC, we have about 8 PG and diploma programs as well. We have recently launched something called program in artificial intelligence and machine learning under the ITS vertical, which is again very unique, and it's a need of an hour. We have program in social research, we have program in education. So here you have a gamut, or you could see the number of programs are huge, and when a student is applying to the TISS SP programs, the options are more, and the programs are not only offering them the employability, but the programs are also very extensive in nature. They really have to put that hard work towards completion of the program. This is all what I have to say. For more details, you can always write to me or at vanita.kaushal@sve.tis.edu, or you can also visit our website, www.sve.tis.edu. You have all the details of a program with the content, with the fee details, what is the eligibility and when to apply for the programs. I would say that the admissions are on. The last date for the applications would be 15th June. We don't see any extension because we plan to launch the program in July. For exceptional cases, we can always consider them after that date. However, currently the date is 15 June, which is the last day of registration for this program. Now over to you for any questions you have. I would be happy answering them.
Thank you so much, Vanita. I think you've covered a lot of detail in those 25 minutes. I think one of the questions that came in from a student was, is the admission merit-based?
No, it's not merit-based. No. So, like I said, these guys come from the economic studies. We have students who have who are good in studies and they have achieved, and they still want to do these programs. They are more than welcome. However, we don't have any merits right here, but a minimum eligibility of someone being a 12th pass is important.
Great. So one is that great. So we are looking at students who are not focusing entirely only on academic merit, right? So that's one thing.
That's correct. That's correct. Yes. Right.
So fine. So I have another counselor looking for more detail. I think that could be better answered on the brochure itself. So I'll probably
yes.
with them. The other question that came in was, what percentage of the students who go through the TISS SVE program enroll for a PG program immediately after?
So see, a lot of our students who apply for a BVOC program, I have seen about 50% of our students, they apply for a PG. For example, our ITS program, which is Information Technology Enabled Services, a lot of our students, after completion of BVOC, they have opted for a PG and they're currently doing the batches also. And same applies for a BFSI. So around 40 to 50% of students, they apply for a PG programs. And they do further studies, yes.
So that kind of answered two other questions that were there as well.
Okay.
And so other two questions that came in was in continuation with the admission process. Is there an entrance exam or is it based on first come first serve?
So it's not first come serve, and like I said, so the basic procedure is that you have to go to the website, you have to complete the registration with the relevant documents which are mandatory. Which should take care of your family income and all these things, since there are a lot of students who come from that background also, and they have to pay 200 rupees registration fees at the start to at least register for the program. And once the registration has been done, it goes to our vertical managers or the people who are handling the admission process, and they would again talk to the students to understand if they are applying in the right field, so that, and basis which the admission is done.
Right. So I guess that answered another question. So I've also shared the link with our audience as well. The second question was, what is the process that is used at TISS to keep your curriculum updated? Every 5 years you update it, but
that's correct. So we have whenever a curriculum is made, whenever we launch a program, there's a COE team, a Center of Excellence team here at TISS SVE, who takes care and who vets the program in detail before it gets published to the website. And we also visit our programs after every 4 to 5 years to update them with the current things which are in place relevant to that industry and sector. So that is always in place.
Okay. So just one, I think I just had one more question until.
Sure.
When you mentioned neutral venue, so is there a possibility that a student who is not from Mumbai also apply for the course and also be not studying it or not have to travel to or shift their location to Mumbai itself? Is that a possibility as of right now?
So yeah, so someone who's not from Mumbai, so like I said, we have pan-India presence. We have about 70 plus locations where the theory classes happen. So suppose a student is from Chennai. So the student can apply whenever they will go to the website, they will get options of the hub or the partners, which we currently have in Chennai. They can select those partners and they can go and get their theory session done there. Whenever we don't have a structure, or I would say an infrastructure wherein they can take the class, we will create a neutral venue with the help of our current service providers. So the student doesn't have to travel so far to complete the program. It will be near that place only, where currently the student resides. Yeah.
And also, does the institute have a living facility within the campus?
We don't have the hostel facility right now for the SV student, though we have for the other programs. But yes, we can always, through our network, we can help assist the students to find a place near a campus. That can be done.
Perfect. So I think we are at the end of questions. And of course, I will take the liberty of sharing your email address with a community of counselors as well.
Yes.
If there are any queries, I'll certainly reach out to you.
Yes, Thomas. I would love to address all of them. And please, my only request is that tell them to at least start, they can create this awareness, and they can just go to our website to see the details. Everything is updated in detail on our website. They can go, they can see the content, curriculum, everything is there. So they will have an idea that which program has what and what is the career prospect also after completion of the program.
Right. There was another question on placement guarantees. Someone has asked, is it safe to say 100% safe placement?
No. So we don't offer placement. We are not a placement company or an agency. Like I said, it's a work integrated model. We have corporates taking our students as interns. If they feel after seeing their performance that, okay, these guys have been skilled enough in 3 years with them, they absorb them as their permanent employees. So Lupin has done for us. They have taken an entire batch in Sikkim as a confirmed employees. So it depends on the student and how they are performing at the location with the partner. And if they have vacancies, they definitely absorb them also.
So I think we're at the end of the questionnaire, and I will of course reach out to you if there are more questions.
Yes, Thomas, absolutely. And thank you so much for IDC once again, for giving me this opportunity. And it's been a long-term association. I think I look forward to this again and again in every academic session going forward.
So we'll of course connect again, and thank you everyone for joining in.
And Thomas, I would connect with you offline for some more things. So maybe I'll call you tomorrow and we'll discuss that. Thanks, Tom.
As well.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Bye. Yeah, thanks.
Have a nice evening.
Same to you.